There are moments subtle, almost invisible when everything looks fine, but something inside you knows it isn't. Your job, your relationships, your routines, they all add up on paper. But your soul is restless, not in pain, just quietly out of sync, as if whispering, "This isn't where I'm meant to be." That feeling isn't failure. It's a frequency, a signal from a version of you already living the life your heart remembers. This isn't imagination. This is quantum entanglement, a scientifically proven connection between all potential versions of you existing beyond space and time, waiting for your alignment. Today, we're not just talking mindset. We're tuning your signal, because once your energy shifts, reality doesn't just respond, it recalibrates. If you've felt stuck, it's not because your dream is far away. It's because your current frequency can't hear it yet. But that changes now. Sometimes the loudest signals don't come in chaos, they arrive in silence. Not the kind that feels peaceful, but the kind that lingers beneath a smile, beneath productivity, beneath everything that should make you feel fulfilled. Have you ever woken up after checking all the boxes, career, relationship, stability, yet still felt an emptiness you couldn't explain? That's not confusion. It's a transmission. A whisper from your soul saying, "You're out of sync." Like tuning into a radio station with static, life keeps playing, but the melody feels off. You see, discomfort isn't always a problem to fix. It's often a signpost. Neuroscientist Dr. Lisa Feldman Barrett notes that emotions are predictions, not reactions. They tell you where you're heading, not just where you are. That restless tension in your chest, the low-grade fatigue that no sleep can fix, that's your inner field misaligned with the timeline you're truly meant to inhabit. Think of it like magnetic pull. The version of you that already lives in alignment is emitting a frequency. When you stray too far, chasing success that doesn't nourish you, staying in relationships that dim your light, your body and emotions begin to glitch. It's not failure, it's feedback. Imagine a person with material wealth, external praise, a calendar full of achievements, yet every day they feel drained, disconnected, like they're playing someone else's role. That is not weakness. That is quantum misalignment, a gap between your current identity and your authentic frequency. Have you felt that lately? A quiet knowing that what you're doing is fine, but not true? What if that unease isn't meant to be numbed, but followed like breadcrumbs pulling you toward coherence? We'll explore how quantum entanglement makes this possible. But first, pause and reflect. Does this resonate with you? Have you been living in static while your soul craves symphony? Let me know in the comments. And stay with me, because what comes next could change how you listen to yourself forever. What if I told you that the version of you who feels free, clear, purposeful, and alive already exists? Not as a fantasy, but as a frequency, an actual, energetic possibility encoded into the quantum field. In quantum physics, there's a phenomenon called entanglement, and it changes everything. It tells us that when two particles have once interacted, they become linked in such a profound way that their states affect each other instantly, regardless of how far apart they drift in space. No wires, no delay, no visible connection, just resonance, pure and immediate. Now imagine this. What if you are one of those particles? And what if the other is the version of you that already lives your soul's full expression, aligned, abundant, deeply at peace? That's not just poetic. It's the foundation of quantum entanglement applied to human consciousness. Modern studies in quantum cognition and non-local mind, like those at the Institute of Noetic Sciences in California, showing that our awareness is not bound by time or location. Consciousness moves like light. It remembers, it connects, it influences. So when you feel that magnetic ache, that inexplicable pull towards something more, it's not just wishful thinking. It's a signal. Your nervous system is brushing up against the frequency of who you're becoming. And the field, this infinite sea of possibility, is responding in real time. But here's the key. It's not imagination that opens the door, it's resonance. Most people try to visualize a better life, but they're doing it from the vibration of lack, fear, or effort. That's like trying to tune into 98.3 FM while your inner dial is stuck on static. You can't hear the song, not because it's not playing, but because you're not tuned in. This isn't about building your dream life brick by brick. It's about catching its broadcast. Your future isn't hiding. It's humming right now on a frequency that's already yours. So how do you shift? How do you entangle more fully with that version of you? We'll get there. But first, take this in. If quantum entanglement is real and science says it is, then you are not separate from your transformation. You're already connected to it. Think about that. Let it sink in. Have you ever felt moments when you just knew you were meant for more, even if you couldn't explain why? What if those moments weren't daydreams but echoes? Let me know in the comments. And stay close, because next, we'll explore why so many people struggle to manifest change, even when they try everything. The answer might surprise you. Before we dive deeper, take a breath, and, if this message has already sparked something inside you, consider liking, subscribing, and turning on the notification bell, not just to follow more content, but to stay vibrationally connected to insights that nourish your alignment. Because if this resonates, it means you're ready for more than surface answers. You're ready for a shift. Now let's talk about something few dare to say out loud. Why doesn't manifestation work for most people? Why can someone journal, visualize, repeat affirmations for months, and still feel stuck in the same loops? Here's the hard truth. It's not your words that shape your reality. It's your frequency. You don't manifest what you say. You manifest what you broadcast. Millions of people around the world are doing the right things. They speak abundance. They visualize love. They write their dream life over and over in beautiful notebooks. But underneath that effort, their emotional field is telling a different story. One rooted in fear, in lack, in doubt. And the universe doesn't respond to your surface, it responds to your signal. Think of it this way. Imagine you're playing a beautiful affirmation in your mind. I am abundant. But beneath that, like background music, your unconscious soundtrack is humming with anxiety, worry about bills, fear of rejection, self-doubt so quiet, you barely notice it anymore. That's the signal the quantum field picks up on, not the words, the wave beneath the words. Studies in heart-brain coherence from the HeartMath Institute in California show that the body's electromagnetic field generated primarily by the heart radiates, measurable frequencies that affect both your inner biology and your external environment, meaning your emotional baseline is more powerful than your mental effort. So when you say, I am worthy, but your nervous system flinches every time someone compliments you, your body isn't lying, it's just misaligned. And the field listens to the body far more than it does the mouth. Manifestation isn't broken, it's simply incomplete without alignment. Real creation begins when your thoughts, emotions, and actions move in harmony. That's coherence. That's resonance. That's when the field responds not with delay, but with precision. Have you noticed this in your life? Times when you tried so hard to attract something, but deep down, you didn't believe you could hold it? What did the result mirror back to you? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your reflection. And stay with me, because next, we're going even deeper into the hidden patterns inside your nervous system that keep dragging you back to the same reality. The emotional addictions, the subconscious loops, the frequencies of survival that block your expansion. Understanding them is the key to unlocking your signal, and once you do, the field will have no choice but to reflect it. Have you ever wondered why, even with your best intentions, you keep slipping back into the same patterns, same reactions, same outcomes, same emotional terrain? It's not just bad luck or lack of willpower. The truth is far more fascinating and more liberating. You're not broken. You're conditioned. Your nervous system isn't resisting your dreams to sabotage you. It's protecting you by clinging to what it knows. Emotional familiarity. Here's what most people don't realize. Your body can become chemically addicted to emotions, just like it can to caffeine or sugar. Fear, worry, shame, scarcity. They may feel terrible, but if you've been experiencing them long enough, your body begins to crave them. Why? Because they feel familiar. And in the survival-based wiring of the brain, familiar equals safe, even if it's painful. Science backs this. According to Hebb's law, neurons that fire together wire together. Meaning, the more you feel a certain emotion, say, anxiety, every time you check your bank account, the more your brain builds a shortcut for that response. Over time, it stops being a conscious reaction and becomes a default setting. This is neuroplasticity in motion, your brain wiring itself to match your past instead of your potential. So even when you're visualizing abundance, your nervous system might still be rehearsing lack, and the body broadcasts that state like an antenna, even when the mind is trying to override it. Want proof? Pay attention to your body right now. Are your shoulders tense? Is your jaw clenched? Are you holding your breath without realizing it? These are not random. They are embodied signals of your emotional state, subtle cues that tell the quantum field whether you're aligned with freedom or fear. According to research from UCLA's Mindful Awareness Research Center, the body reflects patterns before the mind catches them. This means you could be saying all the right things, doing the rituals, lighting the candles, but if your body is still vibrating at the frequency of stress, contraction, or control, you're not broadcasting your desires, you're amplifying your past. This is why people feel stuck, not because they lack knowledge, but because their identity is still entangled with the emotional chemistry of who they used to be. They are mentally chasing change while physically embodying history. So the next time you sit in meditation or speak an affirmation, try this. Don't just notice your thoughts, scan your body. Are you open or guarded? Are you calm or bracing? Because manifestation doesn't begin with the mind. It begins with coherence, the alignment of thought, feeling, and somatic presence. Have you felt this kind of dissonance before, where your spirit said yes, but your body whispered no? If so, you're not alone, and you're not stuck. You're just at a threshold. And what comes next is sacred. The silence before the shift. The still point where everything you've known begins to dissolve, and what's truly meant for you starts to form. Stay with me, because in the next part, we'll step into that mysterious space together, the vibrational void where old timelines collapse and new ones begin. There is a moment in every transformation that feels like nothing is happening. No signs, no breakthroughs, just stillness. It's tempting to call this failure, or worse, evidence that all your efforts were meaningless. But what if this emptiness isn't the absence of progress, but the prelude to collapse? In the language of quantum physics, there's a concept called decoherence. The moment a quantum system stops existing in multiple possibilities and becomes one observable outcome, it's the shift from potential to form. But before that happens, there's a pause, a space where the system appears quiet, but is actually recalibrating. The same thing happens in your life. When you commit to a new emotional identity, when you say no to fear, yes to presence, and practice elevated states like gratitude, trust, and joy, your field begins to change. But often, your reality doesn't catch up right away. There's a lag, a stretch of vibrational silence. It's like tuning into a new frequency. You've changed the dial, but the sound hasn't come through yet. That's not resistance. That's resonance finding stability. Think of the person who decides to embody abundance. Just say it, but feel it daily. For 21 days, they show up differently. Breathe deeper, speak with more generosity, and then silence. No raise, no new clients, no outer confirmation, until suddenly, on day 22, they receive an unexpected opportunity. Why? Because the field was aligning behind the scenes, and their consistency built the coherence required for the timeline to collapse into form. Studies in behavioral neuroscience suggest it takes roughly 21 to 66 days to rewire emotional patterns, but during that time, the nervous system often enters what Dr. Joe Dispenza calls the void, a space where the old identity is gone, but the new hasn't fully landed. It can feel terrifying, but it's sacred. It means you're becoming incompatible with your past. Have you ever felt this pause? That eerie in-between where life feels muted, but something deeper is stirring? If so, you're closer than you think. Let me know in the comments if this resonates, because next, we'll walk through the ritual that helps you stabilize the new signal. A 3-stage process that doesn't just change your mind, but transforms your magnetic field. Stay close. This is where the shift becomes real. What if the version of you've been trying to become free, grounded, radiant is not something you chase, but something you tune into? Think of it like switching radio stations. You don't build a new song. You simply shift the dial. That's what this is. Not effort, but resonance. And to tune your internal frequency to the life you crave, You don't need rituals filled with candles or complicated affirmations. You need alignment, and that alignment begins with a ritual living, breathing practice built around 3 stages, not to please the universe, but to calibrate your signal. Let's begin with stage 1, identity mapping. You cannot align with a reality while still identifying with the version of you that fears it. Every timeline is tied to an identity, a version of self who already lives the outcome you desire. So pause and ask, who is that version of me? What do they believe, feel, prioritize? This isn't wishful thinking, it's frequency mapping. Give it form, not vague adjectives like better or stronger. Be specific. I am the version of me who trusts deeply, who wakes up in gratitude, who leads with clarity, and responds from love and not fear. Write this down. Speak it. Draw it. Let it live somewhere visible. Because naming that identity brings coherence to your field. And coherence, according to the HeartMath Institute, is the energetic state in which your brain, heart, and emotions sync. It's the baseline for manifestation. Now comes stage 2, micro, alignment. Big change doesn't require grand gestures. It asks for consistent, small decisions made from your new frequency. Want to align with freedom? Say no to that project that drains you. Want to align with self-worth? Stop explaining your value to those who never see it. These micro choices may seem invisible to others, but they're magnetic to the field. They're like breadcrumbs of commitment, each one reinforcing your resonance. There's a study from Duke University that found over 40% of daily behaviors are habitual unconscious. So changing your frequency isn't about one big action. It's about a series of small, intentional shifts made with presence. What if you treated every decision today like it was shaping your timeline? Because it is. Then we enter stage 3, emotional encoding. This is where you become the frequency through feeling, not just thought. Sit for 5 minutes, breathe, and instead of asking, visualizing, or convincing, feel the safety of already having it. Feel the peace of not needing to grasp anymore. Let the emotion wrap around your body like a memory you're reactivating. According to Dr. Joe Dispenza's research, combining clear intention with elevated emotion literally changes the neural pathways in your brain. You're not pretending, you're practicing. And practice creates patterns neurologically and vibrationally. The more you feel it, the more you become it. The more you become it, the more the field mirrors it. So let's recap. Identity mapping. Name the version of you who already lives the life you desire. Let their beliefs, energy, and daily choices become your new internal compass. Micro-alignment. Make small, high-integrity decisions every day that match your future self, not your past. Emotional encoding. Feel the timeline as if it's already here, not to force it, but to recognize it. You're not faking anything. You're syncing with what's already present in the field. Have you tried any of these stages before? Which one feels hardest for you? I'd love to hear in the comments. And stay with me because next, we'll uncover the reason many people still feel blocked, even after doing all of this. It's not that the universe isn't listening, it's that you're still broadcasting from the identity you're trying to leave behind. That's the signal we must change next. If this message sparks something in you, share this video with someone else who's ready to shift. Because alignment isn't just personal, it's contagious. And every ripple begins with one signal, yours. Have you ever wondered why, even after doing the work, meditating, journaling, visualizing life, still feels stuck? It's one of the most frustrating parts of the journey. You're showing up, doing everything right, and yet, the breakthrough doesn't come. But here's the truth. The universe doesn't respond to promises. It responds to patterns. To what you repeatedly broadcast, not what you occasionally declare. You can say, I am free, every morning. But if you move through the day micromanaging every outcome, clenching your jaw when plans shift, or checking your phone like you're waiting to be saved, that's the signal the quantum field receives. Your unconscious behaviors speak louder than your conscious words. This is the core misunderstanding. Most people believe manifestation is about intention, but intention alone is weak, without energetic congruence. The quantum field, as shown in multiple studies from Princeton's Global Consciousness Project, is not moved by what you want. It is shaped by the emotional consistency of what you are. Over time, day by day, vibe by vibe. Think of your vibration like a scent. You can spray perfume on top, but if your clothes are soaked in something else, that deeper scent still dominates. The same goes for your field. You can visualize abundance, but if your nervous system is still wired for lack, survival, or control, that's the scent the universe follows. That's what it mirrors. It's not your fault, it's just repetition. The subconscious mind processes about 95% of your thoughts and actions automatically, according to Dr. Bruce Lipton. Which means, unless you shift your default settings, your field keeps looping the same signal, and reality, loyal as always, responds accordingly. So pause, reflect. Are you still broadcasting the energy of the version you're trying to leave behind? In your posture, your tone, your habits? Be honest, not to judge yourself, but to liberate yourself. Let me know in the comments, can you feel where this might be true for you? And stay with me, because next, we'll explore something most people overlook: the power of your environment and how the energy of others can either amplify or disrupt your shift. Alignment doesn't happen in isolation. It happens in resonance. And your surroundings matter more than you think. Have you ever tried to tune an instrument in a noisy room? No matter how precise your ear, the surrounding chaos makes it nearly impossible to find harmony. The same is true with your energy. You can do all the inner work, meditate, rewire beliefs, practice gratitude, but if your environment is vibrating in a different direction, your signal gets drowned out. Energy is contagious, not metaphorically, literally. Studies in neuroscience and heart coherence by the HeartMath Institute show that our electromagnetic fields extend beyond our bodies and influence others around us. When you're surrounded by stress, fear, or negativity, even passively, like scrolling social media or hearing complaints at work, your nervous system picks up on it. Like a tuning fork placed near a discordant note, you start resonating with that frequency, even when you don't mean to. That's why your environment isn't just a backdrop. It's an amplifier, a drain. Ask yourself, do the spaces you spend time in reflect the frequency you're trying to embody? Does your home feel peaceful or cluttered with old energy? Do the people you speak to uplift your vision or keep reminding you of who you used to be? One small shift can be powerful. Spending time in nature, for instance, has been shown to reduce cortisol levels and synchronize brainwaves. Even 5 minutes under the trees or by water can recalibrate your system. Or maybe it's curating your digital environment, unfollowing accounts that make you feel inadequate, turning off news that spikes fear, and replacing it with voices that remind you of your truth. And the most powerful amplifier of all? Community. When you share space with others who are also raising their vibration, it doesn't just feel good, it creates coherence. In collective meditation studies, crime rates have dropped temporarily in cities like Washington, D.C. and New Delhi. That's the power of collective alignment. So ask yourself, what are you absorbing daily? And more importantly, who are you becoming because of it? Let me know in the comments, has your environment helped or hindered your shift? And stay close, because next, we'll uncover a truth that changes everything. When you master your frequency, you no longer need to control outcomes. The field will take care of the rest. What if the very thing blocking your breakthrough is your need to control it? We've been taught that to get what we want, we must visualize, affirm, strive, grip tightly until reality bends. But quantum truth is softer, gentler, and far more powerful. You don't have to force alignment. You just have to stop scrambling your own signal. Think of yourself like a radio. You're not the one composing the music of your future, you're the receiver. Your job isn't to write the song. It's to tune into the frequency where that song is already playing. No strain, no chase, just resonance. When your inner frequency matches the outcome, reality can't help but respond. Studies in quantum coherence, especially research from institutions like Princeton's Peer Lab, show that the observer's mental and emotional state measurably influences outcomes in random systems. Not because of thinking hard, but because of energetic stability. This means the field doesn't need you to be perfect. It doesn't need flawless thoughts or constant effort. It just waits for you to stop broadcasting from fear, doubt, or past trauma. Because misalignment, not lack, is what distorts manifestation. You might think, but I've been trying so hard. And that's the point. Trying implies lack. Frequency doesn't care what you want, it mirrors what you are. So instead of obsessing over the result, ask yourself, how do I feel when I'm already there? Peaceful? Empowered? Free? Anchor that. Let your peace become your proof. Let your joy become your magnet. And trust fully that the field is listening, not to your timeline, but to your tone. What do you think? Has letting go ever brought you exactly what you needed? Share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And stay with me, because in the final section, we bring it all home. You'll see how every small decision, from this moment on, can become a quantum leap. Have you ever thought maybe it's not the big moves, but the small ones that change everything? In the quantum field, time doesn't unfold in a straight line. It bends, collapses, rearranges around the choices you make in this exact moment. That sip of water when your body whispers. That pause before reacting. That decision to walk instead of scroll. Tiny things, but when chosen with new frequency, they become quantum levers. You don't need to fix your whole life to shift timelines. You just need to choose differently vibrationally once, and then again, and again. That's how a new self is born, not through force, but through frequency consistency. In neuroscience, this is called Hebb's law. Neurons that fire together, wire together. Repetition of new emotional, energetic states literally rewires your brain's default responses. That means each aligned choice today isn't just spiritual, it's biological, real, measurable. So I invite you now. What would your future self choose right now? Even if it feels tiny, even if no one sees, know this, the quantum does. Comment below, I am synced. Let that be your first micro action, your first ripple of coherence. Because here, in this space, we don't chase time, we become it. If this message stirred something in, you share it, like, subscribe, hit the bell, so you never miss a shift. This isn't just a video, it's a signal. And maybe, just maybe, this was your sign. What's your next small quantum move? Let's talk in the comments.